All right, once again, the iPad is under the fan, so hopefully you're not going to be hearing it this time anyway. Plus, it's running pretty slow, so we'll see what happens. Maybe you'll hear it, maybe you won't. I'm Beck Lane. This is Catalyst & Company. Catalyst & Company, where I'm wearing the world's ugliest glasses, and we are catalysts in each other's lives as well as our own, and we work at being the artists we've always wanted to be. And yes, these are the world's ugliest glasses. It has been one of those weeks. I broke my second pair of glasses, the ones that I've had for months and really like, and I broke the second pair this morning. So I got stuck with the pair I never wear because they're really, really horribly ugly and a bad color choice for me. Makes me look even whiter than I am. Behind me is, oh, and that was not it, by the way. Breaking the glasses was not the worst thing that's happened this week. I'll be right back. I'm just grabbing some more blue because I'm making corrections in this painting as we go along. Because once I put on these ugly glasses, I was able to see where I had somehow splattered paint across the lower part of this painting, and so I started covering it. But in the meantime, too, I saw with somewhat fresh eyes how bits that needed to be darkened. So that's what I've been working on now for a little bit this afternoon. And those little bits that need to be darkened are really making her pop. This is really making her feel finished and like the painting she was meant to be. For a while there, I felt like I was making excuses for her again and like, oh well, could have done better, couldn't figure out how, and so we're going to leave it at that. But now she's jumping off the canvas, I think. So, yeah, breaking two pairs of glasses and having to wear these crappy things are not the worst things that happened over the past week. I haven't told a lot of people, but I had a pretty severe medical emergency last weekend. If you want to read about it, it's on Patreon. Not that that's the only thing, I want to share with patrons, but it's just I don't feel like talking about it a lot. But I started getting sick, not last Thursday, but the Thursday before, just extreme fatigue, extreme exhaustion. And then by Saturday, I was in the hospital. So if you want to read about it, go to Patreon. So that happened. Got out of the hospital last Tuesday afternoon, after getting some stuff done. Got home, woke up Wednesday morning, opened my email, and I got a rejection letter for an award here in town. I got a rejection letter from one of the organizers. Thank you very much for that. And then I was offered a job doing another mural, and 24 hours later it was rescinded because somebody would do it for almost nothing. So I'm having one of those times, and I don't want to do this a lot anymore, but I'm really I've been having these days where I go, what is the point? What the F is the point? And sadly, I am reading that from all different artists online that are just like, what is the point? Why does this shit just keep happening? And I'm hearing it from artists who I thought were doing extremely well. I thought I mean, these artists that are writing these things, I thought they were top of the world. So to read, I don't know how much more I can take, and why, from people who appear to be on top of the world. It doesn't make me feel any better. I'm not coming right back. It doesn't make me feel any better. It makes me feel bad for those artists too. Because I want to be able to come up and say something helpful and magical and blah blah blah. During my hospital stay, I was asked if I had a will about 5 times. Only, sorry, grabbing more purple of this magenta, only to get out and find out it still doesn't matter if I'm here or not. Sorry about that. So anyway, I'm going through and I'm covering up. I splattered paint all over this. I don't know how, but I splattered paint all over this. And I'm really glad that happened. Because now I'm having to cover it up and cover it up in the best way so that like this bustle that she has of flowers are just popping out. I've been covering up bits on her blouse where I had it not quite dark enough to pop, and now it is just like popping on the blouse and I have texture. Before, or was it the day after, I think I got out, I went through here and I removed a lot of paint because it was so heavy and thick that I wasn't getting the effect that I wanted. I wanted it slightly wispy, slightly ghost-like. So in removing paint, I was able to get that effect, I think, and I'm really happy. I also added a lot of orange to the background, which apparently I covered with paint as well. I've got splatters of paint on here as well, so we'll have to redo that. But I did put in oranges, different oranges, and then reds. And I'm leaving it. It's very, very raw in person. Sections of this are very raw, and that's pretty typical of my artwork, my paintings, where some of it is refined and then some of it's really raw. It again, it being my work is about the act of painting. So I want to leave it as explanatory, I guess, as possible. Like, this is what it means to create the shape of a finger. This is what it means to create the shape of an arm. This is what it means to create, this is how you create the shape of a face. Not always right, but it's what I'm doing. You know, it's not always spot on perfect, but it is what I'm doing. So anyway, yeah, I'm just gonna finish her up, then she's done, and I'm very excited about her now. I'm very excited about her. The woman, unfortunately, comes with no name. I found her on a Black History account on, not Flickr, Tumblr. On Tumblr, she is not copyrighted anywhere. She has no name, and that makes me a little sad for her, but I felt compelled to paint her. I love her grace. I love her beauty. I love her confidence. I love in that moment, she is so completely in herself and feeling, and having all the feels, feeling whole. You can see it in her face. She's feeling whole. And this would have been taken in the late 1800s, which meant she wasn't valued as being a whole human being, most likely, in most places of the world. So I love her. I love her character and soul. And it kind of reminds me of a question I was asked a number of months ago. Our friend Eric asked me about impostor syndrome, if I'd ever considered talking about impostor syndrome here. Eric, I never have, because I don't understand it. I know Maya Angelou is very famous for feeling like she was an imposter. There's so many people who have been successful who consider themselves imposters, and I don't understand it, so I have no way to address it. I actually understand my value because I think it's because I've been able to define my work my work, why I do the work I do. And maybe because I had been belittled most of my life and made to feel valueless most of my life, that once I put my foot down, it was like, that's your problem, that's not mine. That's, your monsters coming out to play when you call me vile or you tell me that my artwork isn't any good. That's your monsters coming out to play. Got nothing to do with me. Once I was able to figure that out and really put my foot down with myself and with the world, that I would not be demeaned any further, I stopped. I think that's when I learned about imposter syndrome. When you walk into a room and you assume that you have no talent, that you got there by mistake, is one way of defining it. I am the exact opposite, where I have somewhat of a massive ego. I think I have a well-proportioned ego, let's put it that way. A correctly fed ego is how I think about myself, because I am awesome. But, I walk into a room and I go, how is it nobody, not nobody knows my work, but how is it I am not as successful as I really work very hard to be? So I have the opposite problem of imposter syndrome. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's called just being normal and hardworking. That said, I just finished up a commission, or I think I got it towards the finish line, this commission that I was doing, and I've been taking the two canvases and painting over them. I'm going to show you what I've been working on while we put that little orange mess aside. And I think it's because, you can't see it because it's down so low. We're little. We're very little. I actually covered one of my canvases with oil colors, dark where I needed to darken it up because there was too much, and light where I could lighten it up. And I'm just doing a landscape, like an evening landscape. We're going to have peaches and magentas glowing down below. I've got the second half that I'm trying to cover with oils as well, and then we'll see what happens. A few years ago, I think I would have been more daunted and more reticent about doing something like this, just kind of covering where's my little box? Just kind of covering the canvas. How's that? There, now it looks more important. Kind of covering the canvases with oils and trudging ahead, using some reference material, but mainly from my own imagination. I would have been a little more reticent about this. But I've been listening to a number of, something that's been pointed out to me over and over again by chance online on Instagram and Facebook and things, is that it takes about 10 years to get good at something, or to become whatever level of success at something. And I realize I've been painting now online on YouTube for 9 years, but I've really dug into my painting about 11 years ago. So I think I've built up that muscle memory and the ability to just do and not worry about it. Know that it's gonna be okay. Know that it'll be better than something I could have done 20 years ago when I wasn't sure about my talent, or 30 years ago when I wasn't sure, I could just churn out paintings like crazy and made excuses for me not doing it. Over the past 11 years, I've just accelerated what I do and gotten to the point where I can look at a canvas that is being recycled and go, oh yeah, I know exactly what to do. It'll be fine. It'll only take me a couple days to do that. And it'll be something I'm happy with and proud of. And enable me to not waste a canvas. Anyway, so that's a lot in one little video, but I'm not dead, and I have ugly glasses. That's kind of it. I still can't believe that, like, the award, and then being asked to do another mural job, and then it's gone away in 24 hours. It's just like, why? Why? And why? And I don't have any answers for anybody that's feeling like that, other than just to say, you really, 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 really are not alone. You really are not alone. I know some very strong, successful artists who are going through the exact same thing. And we just keep going because we don't know what's around the corner, and hopefully it's something great. All right. Gonna get to work on Splatter Girl, the girl I splattered paint all over, finish her up, put her in drying, and then get back to my landscapes. All right, I'm Beck Lane. This is Catalyst & Company. If you'd like to help support Catalyst & Company, ooh, spider webs. If you'd like to help support Catalyst & Company, links are down below. All right, Carrie, ciao. Point.